Hey guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 82, and I bet you know what I'm going to talk about today. I'm actually going to be talking about my procedure that I had done on my lip. If you've been following me on Instagram or on the YouTube stories, you would have seen some of this footage already. But basically, let me kind of just rewind. So when I was on vacation, not this past week that we just got out of, but the week before that, my little cyst that I had in my lip was starting to grow bigger and bigger to the point where I thought that we were going to have to cut our vacation short to come back home and get it cut out. Fortunately, they didn't have time to get me in during that vacation week, during the end of the vacation week, so we waited until this past week to get it cut out. And I ended up going in on Wednesday afternoon. We had to shift some patients around and open up my schedule, but ended up going in and having this procedure to have this cyst removed from my lip. Now, I think it's called a mucocele is what it is, but basically it's when one of these little nodules, and everybody has them if you feel around in your lip, when they get swollen or inflamed or whatever, they turn into a cyst, and you have to, get it cut out. I tried to go the route of getting it injected first. That did not work, so we went ahead and ended up having the procedure done. And so when we went in, and I actually kind of have a funny story to tell you, not related to this, but to something prior to this, but when we went in, they were getting me all prepped, and they injected me full of lidocaine to kind of numb everything up, and then they left for a few minutes. And at some point, Ashley, my wife, asked me if I was nervous about the procedure. And, to kind of, I told her no, of course, and then I said, I cut my own cyst out of my chin before. And so the story goes that when I think it was junior year going into senior year of high school, I had a cyst growing like right here on my chin. And I thought it was like a zit, so I was like, I would always try to pop it and like nothing would ever happen. And, it kind of had like this like little dark underskin spot there. It wasn't like a traditional zit, but I was like, man, what the heck is that? And I ended up, I had no idea what it was, but I'm like, I'm going to find out. So what did I do? I grabbed an ice cube. I grabbed some Neosporin. I grabbed a kitchen knife. I sharpened it first, and I grabbed a pair of scissors. And so what I did is I went into the bathroom, and, don't tell my mom, because I believe they still have the knife and scissors that I used to cut this thing out of my own chin with. And so what I did is I numbed up my chin with the ice cube. I took the kitchen knife, I slit it open, probably about a ½ inch or so. I popped the cyst out of the skin. So there it was, like it was kind of like a rubbery, it was weird. Anyway, so I popped it out of my chin, and I took the scissors and I cut it, and it hurt like really bad. Once I started cutting it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And then I was like, well, you know what, I've already got it this far, so I just cut it, man. I just cut it out of my own chin, and then I shot a bunch of Neosporin inside of it, put a Band-Aid over the top of it, and fortunately I didn't cut any kind of like a facial nerve to give me like numbness, and it didn't end up scarring really bad. I don't even know if you can see it anymore, but right there, that little white spot right there, that's the scar from it. And so, I think I did a pretty good job for doing some self-surgery. So when it comes to someone else actually numbing me up and someone who knows what they're doing, performing a procedure on my lip, I think I'm totally okay with it. But obviously you can see the results of this. Here we are, what day is it? It's Saturday night right now. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 3 days ago, little over 3 days, because it happened in the early afternoon. And it's starting to heal up, but you can see that there's a lot of bruising right there. So I'm not going to be recording any like actual formal videos this weekend. I'm just doing this vlog. Obviously I can talk pretty well. It's still a little swollen right there. I've got to be careful not to split the lip. I've been putting, Vaseline on it, chapstick on it. Over the course of the past couple days to kind of keep the lip hydrated because it is so swollen. I don't want it to split. And then I had 4 stitches inside of my lip. The top stitch broke off, but the other 3 stitches are still in there, so it's holding the the lip together. I don't feel inclined to go get that other stitch put on. It's not really bothering me. I feel it a little bit, but I think it'll end up healing fine. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. But anyway, lip procedure is done. feels a whole lot better not having that in my lip. Hopefully everything heals up nicely. It should. I really want to be able to record next weekend without a significant amount of bruising or swelling happening with my lip here. So pretty rough week overall, I would say, given that I had that procedure done and I still went into work each of the days. I'm a little bit behind in video content just because my other audiologist has been out sick Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I actually went in, I was in the office all day Friday. So I've been having to fill in a little bit there. So I didn't have as much time to get things done as I really wanted to, but I'll survive, I'll be okay. Nonetheless, I did promise you guys that I would show you some footage from my vacation, so here I'm going to roll that footage as I'm talking here, but it was our 13th wedding anniversary. We went up to Flagstaff. I had some, miles or credit card points, whatever you want to say, that we used to book a hotel for the week, so that didn't really cost us anything, which is really nice. We ended up going out to eat at a couple fancy places, which was really nice, but at the end of the day, I've just learned about myself that I'm kind of more of like I'm a Midwestern kid at heart, so I just like going to steak restaurants, things like that. I'm not as big of a fan of the fancy type restaurants as maybe my wife Ashley is, but otherwise, if we're out on the trails and running around, things like that, that's what we really like. We were able to take like a half day and go down to Sedona and run on our favorite trail in Sedona, so that was really fun. We were able to take our dog Charlie with us, which was also really fun. And then, the rest of the time we spent just kind of hanging out in Flagstaff, going to eat at restaurants and finding trails to go hike on. So it ended up being a pretty fun week up there. And it was good to get back, though. I mean, I really am a routine individual. I don't really like to be out of my element a ton. So I'm glad to be back in the office, glad to be, making some videos again, of course. And I'll, of course, look forward to the next vacation we go on, if we can go on our next vacation trip because of the virus kind of, picking up steam again. But nonetheless, other than that, hopefully this next week is a much better week. Hopefully this all heals up and doesn't give me any issues. And I have to go in on Thursday, I think, Thursday morning to get the rest of the stitches out. If they don't all, bust out before then, hopefully they don't. But nonetheless, that is it for this week's vlog, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed already. And as always, I will see you next week.